What's up, guys? So we're going to have a quick conversation and we're going to talk about Nick Cannon and all of this drama that is going on right now with him being fired by Viacom and basically having the show that he created, Wild 'N Out, pretty much taken from him. Now, he says that he is the creator of that show and he is upset about what's going on because he doesn't feel that his firing was warranted, but he is saying that Viacom is switching the narrative and that he is not going down pretty much without a fight because he wants to have ownership rights over his creation, Wild 'N Out. Okay, so of course, this is not breaking news that he was fired because of one of the episodes of his podcast that's on YouTube called Cannon's Class. He had as a guest Professor Griff, who is a former member of the rap group Public Enemy. So they had a conversation and they were talking about, quote unquote, the true Hebrews, and they discussed some conspiracy theories and things just got a little bit real with their conversation because it was almost as if it wasn't even being recorded. This was something that anybody could see, and he knows the position that he has, all of the opportunities that he has, and that word spreads like wildfire, especially when it comes to people who are up there, what they would call A-list celebrities, says something that may offend a group of people. And let's just face it, he offended a group of people that does not sit silently when they feel like they are offended. Now, I didn't listen to the podcast. I just heard, a few clips of what they were talking about. I'm not sitting here to say whether what he said was or wasn't. Offensive to them because I don't believe that anyone can say what shouldn't offend somebody else. You can only say what offends you. You may understand somebody else or you may not understand it, but you can't really say what won't offend somebody else or it shouldn't offend somebody else. And I'm not here to say that what he said was or wasn't. Like I just said, I'm not judging that. But what I did want to talk about was whether or not it's a little too late for him to try to seek ownership over the creation that he created, which is Wild 'N Out. Now, I never watched that show. I've never been interested in Wild 'N Out. The only thing I've ever seen of it has been the commercials and maybe clips of it if somebody was doing a YouTube video about somebody that might have been on an episode of that show. I never watched it. It's just not my thing. Not knocking it. It just wasn't my thing. So I never watched it. But I just assumed that it was his show because I remember seeing the title of it, Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out. And even then, just because his name is on it, it doesn't 100% mean that he is the creator of it. Not saying he isn't, I just didn't know. But learning this now that he's saying that he created that and he wants it and he feels like they're trying to take something that he created away from him. I don't know. I just don't understand if you are in a position where you have all of these opportunities. I mean, he's had so many opportunities. He's been the host of America's Got Talent for many, many years. I believe he got fired from that for something that he said. Again, something that he said that caused him to get fired. And He also is the host of The Masked Singer, which is a show that comes on Fox. I guess it's one of now their highest rated shows, and they've come out and said that they are going to keep him on as a host for now. So that's another gig that he still has under his pocket. He has his YouTube channel with his podcast, so I'm quite sure that is monetized very well. I'm assuming. I don't know. And he created that show Wild 'N Out, and then he's been on Nickelodeon for many, many years. So not sure if anything that he's been on or anything that he may have created is still playing on Nickelodeon that he may be getting residuals from. Not sure. But he has done a lot. He is considered to be an A-list celebrity at this point. So I don't know what he was thinking in regards to something that he created that he doesn't really have control over. Why would you not seek some sort of security with having that ownership over your creation before something negative like this went down? Now, here's another viewpoint. The host of the show, being Nick Cannon, he decides who he has on as guests. And the guest that he had was Professor Griff. Professor Griff, he was in the group Public Enemy. He had been in that group for many years. And here's the thing. Even with him being in that group for many years, it was reported that he made some statements that some deemed as anti-Semitic. So he was fired from that group, and he is no longer a part of the group, and he hasn't been a part of the group for many years. So why risk having a conversation? Not saying that if he had Professor Griff on the show and allowed Professor Griff to make statements that may have been considered anti-Semitic but not really lead him in or agree with what he's saying, and just allowing him to say the things that Professor Griff said, that they wouldn't have still made a decision to put the hammer down and say, look, we got to cut ties with you. But I don't know if it would have went down that way. They're saying that this was a decision that they made based on the things that Nick Cannon said. And Nick Cannon said a lot. Again, I'm not saying what he said wasn't offensive or it was. I'm not judging the statements. I'm just here to talk about why would you wait until you're in a precarious situation to try to gain ownership over your creation? You are so smart. You have so much experience in this industry. Why wait until something like this goes down to say, I want ownership over my stuff? I felt like hearing this, it made me feel like maybe he was sleeping on the situation, because I don't know how many seasons of Wild 'N Out there has been now, but there has been a lot of seasons of this show. And it obviously is something that's very popular because they continue to bring it back over and over again. And if it wasn't, they wouldn't keep bringing it back. So I felt like you had a lot of leverage at that time. So why wait until you get fired to try to grasp ownership over your creation? I'm just wondering about that. So I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comment section. He has since apologized for his statements, and he basically said, first and foremost, I extend my deepest and most sincere apologies to my Jewish sisters and brothers for the hurtful and divisive words that came out of my mouth during my interview with Richard Griffin. They reinforce the worst stereotypes of a proud and magnificent people, and I feel ashamed of the uninformed and naive place that these words came from. The video of this interview has since been removed. I don't know if he had that written for him or if he said it himself. I believe he probably wrote it himself because he's a pretty smart guy. But that always goes back to my feelings on just being an adult in this world, that we can't allow our emotions to lead us, because our emotions can fool us. You cannot speak out of your feelings and out of your emotions. Even if you feel that way, not everything has to be said when you feel like saying it. And I just believe that with all the things that he has going on and all the opportunities that he has been given, you have to be very careful about what you say, when you say it, how you say it. It's just the truth. And so I just think it's easier to just be careful with the words that you speak versus saying something and then having to come back out later and apologize and then reaping the, the whirlwind over the wind that you've sown. And guys, what that means is, there's a saying, those that sow the wind will reap the whirlwind. And it just means that it could come back so much stronger than what you sowed out. So I'm not saying that he deserved to get fired. That's not my decision to make. Obviously, I'm not sure what he was thinking up to this point, but maybe this is an awakening for him regarding his creations and the things that he has come up with. Be smarter about your creations, because the fact that he can get fired and then have his name removed over something that he created and possibly somebody else step in as the host of the show and take over and step in when you created that's a hurtful thing. I'm telling you, because I know as a business owner that it hurts when I've created something and I've made something up to see somebody copy it or, try to do what I'm doing. And it's like, that's my stuff. That's mine. I made that up. And now you're stepping in and so yeah, I just don't know. I hope things work out for him in the long run, and they probably will, because I don't think that he's canceled. I believe that he is getting a spanking right now, and he'll heal from the swats that he got later. But those are just my thoughts, and I would love to know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Do you feel that it's too little too late for him to try to gain ownership over the creation at this time when things are really heated, and maybe it's something that he should have done a long time ago? Or, do you feel that, hey, maybe he didn't really create it, it's just his name on it and he was the host, and it was something that he agreed upon when they allowed him to have the show on the, on the network, the Viacom network. And maybe there was a clause that he signed and said that there probably is some type of clause that gives them the right to just cancel any contracts that they have and nix everything and move forward with somebody else if he does something that goes against what they agreed upon. But we shall see. We shall find out. So guys, I appreciate you listening to this episode, this podversation. You can check out the links in the description box to support it. And of course, I appreciate you all liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Hit that notifications bell so you know whenever I do upload a new one. And guys, this is the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. Until the next time, have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.